Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Let's get started. Today is Thursday, July the 23rd, 2020. Well, first, here's a question. Is this a hostile takeover or what? Chad Wolf has zero experience in this field of Homeland Security. However, he is working alongside the occupant of the Oval, deploying all of these federal agents to Albuquerque, New Mexico, Kansas City, Chicago, and as we know, Portland. Mayor Lightfoot is not having it, so she's speaking up, having some words, some things to say. And as of today, just to give you some good news, there are only 103 days left to the current occupant of the Oval and his work, unless he wins the election. So I want to really get into, well, the NAACP, I do want to talk about them. They have now sued DeVos for federal aid with the private schools. They said money is coming from public schools going to these private schools. So the NAACP has sued DeVos over that. So this is where I want to get to. It's interesting. It seems like this week is all about education. So we're just going to keep going. All right. And looking at, as you know, on July the 14th, there was a Senate runoff in Texas. And it was between MJ Hager and Royce West in the Democratic Party runoff for Senate in the state of Texas. Now, she won by a close margin for the runoff. However, as of today, 56% of the Texans have no idea who she is. When I was doing some research, more than 60% of Texans know who Royce West is. And I'm sharing that today to talk about, this was a runoff. This was a special election. It was a runoff. And what happened was people did not show up to vote. She won. We need to be mindful of that going into this November 3rd election. People were looking at polls. People were saying he was a shoo-in. He did not win. Be careful looking at the polls. You cannot sit back and say, well, so-and-so has it, so I'm not going to go vote. No, your vote matters. You have to go in. So let me just give you a couple more, for instances here. In Kentucky, we had Charles Booker and Amy McGrath. Amy McGrath was in the race a long time ago in Kentucky. Charles Booker came in later. It was a close margin. They didn't call it for a couple of days, but Amy McGrath won. The question is, can she beat the Senate, the majority leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell? I don't know. Which means then, if you do not want Mitch McConnell running the Senate, being the majority leader, at least 3 seats in the Senate needs to flip, which means they need to flip to Democrats. If not, he will be back in that space again because they will vote him back in as the majority leader. Remember, yesterday I was talking about the 2 parties and who votes. Whoever has the majority vote, they get to select their leader. So, even in South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, Jamie Harrison, the same thing. Y'all, we need to vote October the 5th. This is going to be short, but October the 5th, we need to vote. October the 5th is the last day to register to vote, to be able to vote in the November 3rd election. It's that simple. We have to get people registered to vote. They can go to vote.gov, vote.org, iwillvote.com, rockthevote.org. When we all vote.org, you can go to readypublication.com and click on the Ready to Vote campaign. There are 6 things I want to share with you real quick. And again, I don't mean for this to be teaching. It's supposed to be quick news, but this is important. We need to know how every dot connects. So number 1 is the end of July. We're at the end of July. And again, I was giving you the Texas person, MJ Hager. She's 9 points behind her opponent, who is a Republican. Now, she won the runoff. 56% of the people haven't heard about her. Clearly, people do not come out to vote during a runoff election, but every election is important. So listen to this. I'm a resident of the state of Ohio. But when we are voting and we're looking at these numbers, it's like, do I like what Lindsey Graham is doing in South Carolina? I may not be a resident of South Carolina, but I know he makes a difference in that Senate chamber. So what do? I don't care if it's $1, y'all. I don't care if it's $1. It's funneling funds into Jamie Harrison's campaign, who is running against Lindsey Graham. The same thing with Amy McGrath and Mitch McConnell. I don't like what Mitch McConnell's doing. His values are not lining up with my values. So what do? I'm going to funnel, I don't care if it's $1, into his campaign. The same thing with Amy, into Amy McGrath's campaign. The same thing with MJ Hager. Don't know her. So even her people need to have a strategy with a pathway forward as to how do we get Amy the platform. It's the end of July. What does that look like? They should have her on Facebook Live. They should have her on IGTV. They should get her press and primetime press on all of these news shows. People don't know her. But again, this was July the 14th when they voted in Texas. It was July the 14th. People did not come out because they believed Royce West was a shoo-in. Do I need to remind you of 2016? People believed that Hillary Clinton was a shoo-in. They thought, no problem. We don't have to worry about this. These polls are saying she's ahead everywhere. No, you still have to vote. You still have to vote. And so we can go back and look at the news. And I lay that foundation on purpose. I know I'm giving you a quick rundown, but I lay that foundation on purpose because, again, everything I do in News in Motion is giving you my argument as to why we must vote, why we must register to vote and vote. You have the guy, Chad Wolf, as the interim, he's temporary, Homeland Security Secretary, who has no background in that position at all, none. They are deploying federal agents so far in Portland, in Chicago, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and in Kansas City. Why? When the city mayor and the police departments are wondering, why are you doing this? We have to pay attention to these types of things. We have to pay attention to these things. Then we have Mayor Lightfoot, who she's saying, I don't want to deal with this. So she had a phone call, and I'm looking at this from the news article. She had a phone call with the occupant of the Oval on yesterday, and she says, as long as, and here's the quote. Here's the quote from her administration. The mayor has made clear that if there is any deviation from what has been announced, we will pursue all available legal options to protect Chicagoans. She's saying, no, I'm protecting my people. And she does have that responsibility to protect her people. The other thing I want to say, why are women being attacked? We have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was attacked by Representative Ted Yoho of Florida yesterday on the steps. Why? Why was that even happening? And he never really offered a real apology. Why is that happening? So we have Lightfoot, we have Keisha Lance Bottom, mayor in Atlanta, and now we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Why we vote? They may not be in our area, but who are our representatives? Reasons why we vote. Reasons why we vote. And then the last thing I want to give you are the coronavirus numbers that are out of control. Yesterday, the governor of Ohio said mandate all across the state of Ohio. No more certain counties, but everyone's a mandate. So the World Health Organization, that's where I get my numbers from, the U.S. has hit 4 million cases. It's actually 4,100,875 cases. Deaths, 101,000. 146,183 deaths and recovered 1,942,637, which is a great number. So U.S. has topped 1,000 deaths reported in 24 hours. 1,000. California is now leading in cases with 415,763 cases, y'all. 55% tested in Arizona along a border has tested positive. 55% tested. So again, here's my argument. We must vote. Who is in the control seat? I'm not talking about the occupant who's on Twitter. Who's in the control seat? Have you written to your representatives? Have you raised your voice? Have you attended town hall meetings? I know you can't go face to face, but on Zoom, are you clicking into that Zoom icon? Yeah, my whole point is to highlight news, to say, here's my arguments, here's my reasons as to why we must register to vote. Last week I gave you a challenge to contact someone who you know isn't registered to vote, to get them to register to vote. This week it is emailing your base, giving them your story as to why you are a registered voter and why you hope all your friends and family will also register to vote. In addition to that, I'm encouraging you, do live videos. Tell people your story and the importance of voting. And then share that on all your social media. Don't want to do a live? Share this video. Share this video. I gave you clearly about MJ Hager in Texas. 56% of the people have no idea who she is. How is she going to win in November? Is it possible? It's possible. But the team that rallies around her to get her out front, to get her name out there, is going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. Those are the things we have to do. We have to do them. So for the win, and I gave y'all the win. For the win is LeBron James. He's just all that in a bag of chips. He now has I Promise Village in Akron, Ohio. You know, he started the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio. But what I like about him, his team was hearing the fact that children didn't have a place to stay. So how could they get them into the schools if they don't have food, if they don't have a bed, if they don't have living arrangements? So he started the I Promise Village. He's like, no problem. We'll fix that too. We'll give you a place to stay. We'll give your family a place to stay. Bed, food, living room, computers, internet. We're going to give you a place to stay because your education is that important. Imagine if all of us did that in our communities. No, I don't have LeBron James money, but how many people could say, okay, let's come together and let's really be the village here? In Columbus, Ohio yesterday, y'all know I'm a resident of Ohio. In Columbus, Ohio yesterday, the city of Columbus partnered with the Columbus Public Schools to make sure all students, not even sharing within a household, but that every student would get a Chromebook. And now they're working on internet. But let's say they don't get the internet services in their homes. What can we do as a community to make sure these children have internet services? Because we don't know if they're going to be hybrid or if they're going into the schools or if they're going to be doing their homework virtually. We have to do something. It's beyond looking at ourselves saying, what are we going to do? We have to go beyond looking at ourselves saying, I have mine. We have to go beyond that to say, what are we going to do to help? Even for those of us, my kids are grown, but even still, I think about the community and say, how many students in the community may not have the resources, and how many of us can come alongside to help with those resources? It's a matter of coming together, not just looking at yourself saying, oh, I can't help. Y'all, and not to go back to this person, but former President Barack Obama raised money, $1 a donation. Now, he had his major donors as well, but the base was the small amount of money. So imagine if we said, okay, we're going to step up. We're going to step up and we're going to contribute $1 to this campaign, $1 to that campaign, $1 to help with computers. Even reaching out. Apple, we know you have some iPads. We need you to donate iPads to all the children who have to do homework virtually. They don't have the resources to do it. Okay, Spectrum. Okay, Wow. Okay, Comcast. You gave us these announcements that you were going to supply internet services back in March and April, but you had a trick to those, to all that red tape. So it sounded good. It was a great soundbite. But when people started looking into it, you wanted them to then buy after the 3 months. You wanted them to have certain amount of credit. You wanted them to have things that you know good and well they didn't have. That's why they didn't have internet service or computers in the first place. Here's why we vote. So we can raise our voices and bring these things to light. Here's my inspirational message, and then I'm going to let you go. My inspiration message for today is to work your plan. To work your plan. Jeremiah 29:11 says, God knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper you, to give you a hope and a future, not plans for destruction. So I'm calling all of us to work our plan. What plan do you have in place? What plan do you have in place to get people to register to vote? What plans do you have in place to get people to the polls when the polls open? Work your plan. What plan do you have in place? What plan do you have in place to support the candidate you want to see win that particular office? What plan do you have in place? So yeah, y'all, that's my inspirational message today. Work your plan. Jeremiah 29:11. Again, I'll say it. God knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper you, to give you a hope and a future, and not plans for destruction. We have to work our plans. We have to. We have to look beyond ourselves and look at the landscape. We talked about landscape yesterday. To look at the landscape. We have to look at the landscape, people. We cannot continue the route that we're going down. We have federal agents being deployed into cities. You know, I'm out of Portland's already told them, you can come over here if you want to. But now you have moms that are holding the lines. You have dads who are coming out there with snow blowers and leaf blowers. You have people who are protecting their people. Chicago, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about them going to Chicago. I can see an all-out war in Chicago. But we have people in place if we would raise our voices and vote. I'm going to sign off here in a moment, but I have to make this plea to everyone. And please share the video if you feel led to do that. Share the video. But I'm going to give you these numbers again because I think it's so important. We have the woman in Texas who's running for U.S. Senate. U.S. Senate, y'all. She is running. 56% of the people have no idea who she is. There was a runoff election on July the 14th. It was between M.J. Hager and Royce West. People knew Royce West or know Royce West. They didn't know her. But what happened was the people that know him didn't come out to vote on July the 14th. She has 56% of the people who do not know her in the state of Texas. He has 60% who knows him in Texas. He didn't win because people thought he would be a shoo-in. Every vote matters, y'all. Every voice counts. Work your plan. All right, y'all. Remember, tomorrow is question day. Send in your questions. Send them in. You can DM me. You can put them in the comment section here. Once I grab them, once I see your questions, I'll grab them off. But tomorrow I'm going to only answer questions. That's what's happening tomorrow. And shout out to Latrice Jones. This necklace, paparazzi jewelry. Her son is autistic, and she does her paparazzi, and she does one piece a month for Team Isaac. We're part of Team Isaac. I'm a part of Team Isaac. And Team Isaac, he's autistic. He's an amazing young man. And so she does a piece. She does a cause with her business. So this piece I'm wearing today, if you want to connect with Latrice Jones, I'll make sure she puts her information in the comment section. But you all have a great day. A great day. Let me know if this is making a difference for you. I don't care if it's one person. Just let me know if it's making a difference for you. And also, if you know anybody who's registered to vote during this time that I've been on the air, Monday through Friday, let me know so I can give them a shout out. Because we want to celebrate them making that step, registering to vote. All right, y'all, the 5 again. Well, first let me say, October the 5th, y'all. October the 5th is the last day to register to vote to be able to vote in the November 3rd election. But even with that, check your Secretary of State's website because dates are changing because of the pandemic. So, vote.gov. You can check out all your information there. iwillvote.com. Vote.org. rockthevote.org. whenweallvote.org. and readypublication.com. I'm Gail Dudley. Peace out until tomorrow. You have a great day.